Assassin's Creed Revelations marks a significant chapter in Ubisoft's historical action-adventure series. This latest chapter explores the final days of its two lead assassins, Ezio and Altair, and makes some significant improvements to the well-established formula, particularly in the area of storytelling. This is the best Assassin's Creed yet, but if you've been following the franchise for the last couple years, you'll still find this to be some very familiar territory.
Unless the legend is a lie, you are the man I long to meet. Renowned master and mentor, Ezio Auditore de la Prego.
Past Assassin's Creed games have suffered from some awkward storytelling, including plot points that seem to come out of nowhere and characters that weren't all that interesting. Revelations doesn't suffer from those problems. Its characters and cinematics are expertly crafted, and though the plot might seem a little arbitrary and meandering at first, it comes together nicely by the end. All told, Revelations does a great job concluding Ezio and Altair's story. Revelations features more characters than ever, as it not only details Ezio's quest to find out more about the Assassin Order, but also key moments in Altair's life, which ultimately begin to relate to Ezio's search. Add in local turmoil in Constantinople, a love interest, and, of course, a modern-era segment featuring the perpetually ignored Desmond, and you have a very, very full plate of ideas. For the most part, it works. Desmond gets the short stick again. His moments are completely optional. Frankly, Desmond's plight has never been as interesting as the struggles of his ancestors, so the ability to ignore him completely is useful. Graphically and musically, Revelations is great. Some significant upgrades have been made to the game's visuals, and the layout and structure of Constantinople is easily the best we've seen in the Assassin's franchise so far. The game's soundtrack is often subdued, yet very much engrossing, and when it kicks into high gear, it's fantastic. A number of changes are introduced to the Assassin's Creed formula this time around, but the odd thing is the game still operates almost identically to its past iterations. You can craft and use a wide variety of bombs, operate an enhanced sense called Eagle Vision, and even acquire an upgraded version of the Hidden Blade called the Hook Blade. All of these additions are fine, and there's no doubt ziplining around Constantinople is incredibly fun, but you're still largely going to fight guards the same way you always have, countering their attacks and then chaining one kill into many. This similarity is both good and bad. If you love the combat mechanics of past Assassin's games, you'll still love them now. If you didn't, you're not going to notice a huge difference. While Ezio and Altair segments are fairly straightforward in terms of gameplay, Desmond's are, well, different. Switching to a first-person perspective, Desmond's fractured mind relives his memories as players navigate Tron-esque worlds using glowing blocks. The thing is, these segments, which are absolutely optional, can prove to be a nice break from all the running, climbing, and stabbing you're doing with the assassins. Some are going to absolutely hate this wildly divergent style of play, but you know what? It's actually kind of cool if you give it a chance. Not everything in Revelations works well though, namely den defense, which plays out like an awkward form of, well, tower defense. As Ezio captures various regions of Constantinople, the Templars will challenge him for control. Basically, waves of enemies walk down a street towards an assassin's headquarters. As they approach, Ezio commands various forces on the rooftops, including crossbow and rifle troops, to stop them. The problem is, the mode feels entirely unnecessary and controls in a very clunky manner. If the game's developers want to keep this in any form in future games, they really need to go back to the drawing board. Revelations multiplayer is getting a facelift, supplementing the existing strong experience with new modes and even a storyline that unfolds as you level up. The variety of the experience is impressive, with concepts like Deathmatch and Wanted creating a slower, tenser atmosphere, and then modes like Steal the Artifact often becoming an all-out sprint during the entire match. It's well worth a look. If you've played Assassin's Creed before, Revelations isn't going to surprise you in too many ways. The core essence of the game is very similar to past releases in the series. But while Revelations does serve as a perfectly fine upgrade to an existing formula, some changes, like den defense, don't really work well and should never have been included in the first place. All in all, the strong core gameplay combined with a great story and fantastic characters are enough to make this a worthy entry in Ubisoft's powerful franchise. For more on Assassin's Creed, head over to IGN.com.